Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's a working one for me. Lovely to see you all. Um, yeah, let's just wait. I don't do many on YouTube now. I'm going to probably do a few more. I'm busy doing other things right now. But life's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And I hope that you're all good wherever you are as well. It's kind of weird, you know. You get used to what you do. You know, I've been doing a lot of stuff streaming on Facebook, which just seems natural. And it's the same on YouTube. But because I haven't been here for a while, it just feels that little bit different until I get back into the saddle and back into the swing of things. Lovely to see you all, people. I hope, yeah, Alison Goulding. Hello, darling. How are you? Have you seen the new Minister for Health? Right, Belter. Yes, smoking cigars. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes, big donuts. We're all in for such a hip hooray experience, aren't we, with a new Minister for Health? You know, I'd expect to see a Minister for Health, someone like with a body like Arnold Schwarzenegger or what's his name? Joe Thingy. Joe the motivator, the kid that come on the scene about 6-7 years ago, sells all his books. Joe Wicks, that's it. I'd see Joe Wicks as the health minister. That'd do for me. You know, working out and eating good and showing you how to make all this nutritious food. But my goodness, have you seen it? Winston Churchill, yes, she's smoking a big sugar. I'm thinking she looks like a right decent Minister for Health, this one. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Anyway, I hope you're all getting on all right. I really, really do. I hope that these big corporations ain't burning your bum cheeks too hard right now with the cost of living, with your energy bills, with your food bills. They're trying to starve you out, aren't they? And I don't get it. Anyway, I've been studying established law and all these things, and I'm doing some really good things right now. For sure, I am. I'm in some really good groups, and we're really starting to get a drift of all this. But the point is, there was a part of history in this country, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. It was just before the 15th century, I do believe. And it was a time period where money it was little of it about. And the focus, because there was so little of it about, people were focused on other things like morality and living and freedom. They were focused on these things. It might have been Victorians or just slightly before that. Yes, you probably had your Oshalaunces still there, living the dream like the Rothschilds, you know, these people that they're just unbelievable. But the point is this, the monetary system, it was just not really a thing. Everyone was happy in their property, in their independence, in their freedom. And money really wasn't discussed too much. You remember, you must have heard all your family, oh, we never talked about money in the old days and all that. That's because it wasn't very prevalent. It wasn't a massive factor because people were growing food and sharing food, and farmers that were doing this and that were probably sharing things with other people. People learned to get by, you know. But now we're in this situation where you've really got to cover your bum cheeks, and otherwise you're being burnt from council tax. We know council tax is fraudulent. It is an absolute fraud, and there's fraud going on every single day in the courts. And the thing is, they don't care. The people that work in these courts and the people that work in the councils really don't care that you know what's going on. They don't care because they've gone criminal. It's a mafia. I see the system as a mafia. I really do. And I've tried to walk away from it in as many ways as I can in my life. Believe you me, I really have. I've tried to turn the tap off and a matrix, you know, pull away from the system. I don't watch the drivel on the TV. I couldn't care less who's the prime monster of this country, because nothing new under the sun, nothing ever changes, does it? It's always the same shit. And I think majority of people now in this, that's better. I think the majority of the people in this country now are now sick and tired of it. Yeah, we're sick and tired of the abuses, the police kicking your door in because they're helping energy companies. Now, there's been quite a few things that have happened this year. You know, we're in September already and the year's going very fast. I don't know about you, but this year for me is just shot through. And the summer, although it's not over yet, it's disappearing fast. And I think, what happened? It's just, do you not think that time's speeding up? That the days are just going so quickly. But unless you're a multimillionaire or you've got your finger on the tap somewhere down the line, these people are coming after you, these corporations. But we had a very interesting case that happened quite a few months ago in this great country called England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. And it was a court case where a jury and a judge found that the police were wrong and that the police had no right to be doing what they're doing. And it's now case law, historic case law, because even a case that's heard today that makes case law, whatever this case law is, I've got no time for it, but tomorrow it will be classed as historic, because it's been undone and it's been put away and people have learned. That's what this system of law is all about. But this case was that two policemen from Kent Police, PC Belmont and PC Dunn, had no right to be in this man's kitchen, Robert White. They had no right whatsoever to be in the kitchen. They was there unlawfully, and the jury and the judge deliberated that if they had no right to be there, they had no protection from that uniform. And we know this uniform now, the police uniform, it stinks, it sucks, it's horrible. I would not want to be in that fray, in that melee. I would not want to be part of the police if my ears was on fire. I really wouldn't. I think they're disgusting people. Now, years ago, I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said it back in the early 70s when I was a wee kid. I would never have said that. Police had a niceness about them and a fairness, and they knew the reason why they was on the streets was to keep things fresh, keep it so that all the violence and all that never really went on. But now we're seeing that they're not there for that purpose. But the law and the jury and Kent Police, it just took their breath away. They couldn't believe that the case went against them. They thought that the judiciary and the judges and all these people were on their side, right? Because it's a big club and we ain't fucking in it. And that's the truth of the matter. But they got taught a bit of a lesson, and they are really stepping back now in a lot of these issues, all not just in Kent, but all around the country. This case law's going. It's spreading like there's no tomorrow, and what it's doing, it's bringing a load of other case law out from bailiff issues and police interactions all over the years, from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, where unless a bailiff has a properly signed warrant, we know they flag their, I've got a warrant, look, it's on my computer, look, it says it, look, the judge has signed it. Oh, no, you can't look at it. No, you can't look at it. Oh, no, we can't show it. And that's what they do. Yeah. No, sorry. No, it needs to be signed. And that's the actual fact. In the Robert White case, they never, ever brought the warrant into the courtroom. That's not what won the case. The case was won under Castle Doctrine. Every man or woman you've got to be careful nowadays, has the right to defend their own property and their own life. And that is fabulous. And we know that all these things that the bailiffs do and the energy companies, by the way, I don't know if you've worked out yet, they're going for gold. They're going for broke, man. They are kicking ass right now. They're pulling people's tarmac up out the front of their houses. They're disconnecting their power supplies when people get into trouble. They're turning their meters off. They're nicking their meters, and they're leaving people without anything. Now, I don't know about you. That to me is not a flourishing country. A flourishing country is where you put an infrastructure in that is bought and paid for, and it's for everybody. Yeah, that's how I would like to see it. I'd like to see the energy company. I'd like to see you all have all free gas and electricity, and I'd like to see just all these corporations, these big high street retail outlets and pubs and clubs and all that, their tax contribution, which is how this system was originally set up, is the only thing that funds the national grid and all that, not us, the people. The government and the system was never, ever supposed to come into our private lives. And the state there's a maxim that says the state can do nothing to the prejudice of the people. Well, they're digging your drives up now, guys. They're digging your drives up to turn your power off. And even those, you might even get the health minister come round and shit on your front doorstep if you're so lucky. That's what we've got going on. Now, I don't like that. I think that big business, which is big in this country, we have a big business structure. We have big businessmen out there in suits in the corporate world, doing massive deals all around. That should be the taxation that's generated from the business sector alone. Look at all the industrial estates. Look at all the high streets. Look at all the infrastructure for manufacturing and that. That should be the only thing that's taxed. Only thing that's taxed. And that's how the system was originally set up. I'm not talking out the box. I'm not trying to bring in anything new here. I'm saying in historic terms and things, that's what happened. The system was funded by business and corporations, not the people. So everybody should have gas. Everybody should have electricity, because when your dear little nan and granddad sat in their flats now, September, oh, got to turn the gas on soon, I'm starting to tremble. Turn the boiler on. Turn it on, Fred. I'm getting a bit chilly. Can't turn it on yet, Doris. No, we won't be able to pay the bill. And then they're going to come round and turf us out the house. They're going to smash all our house up, change all the meters. And if we can't pay, they're going to take their stuff away. And we won't have no gas and electricity. It's disgusting. What a sick system we live in. You know, and look, it ain't me talking out the box, guys. It's true. Look, listen, we've had people ring up the national grid. The national grid. You can ring them. You can ring them anytime you like and say, excuse me, these companies, these Oxo Energy, these Octopus Energy, the Pussy Energy Company and all that, they're credit brokers, right? And they will say yes. And you say, right, okay, cool. So they're working for profit. They've got their big directors. They're having their, shares at the end of the month so they can go and run a bit of Charlie under their nostrils and all this old stuff. We know what goes on. We know how wicked and sadistic this country is becoming. And what do they give you? What's the trade-off? What's the trade-off between the energy coming into my house, which the grid supplies, little bloke down in the coal thingy, stoking up the boiler to give you your electric, it must be flat out working all day, and the nuclear plants, all that. The grid gets 2% of what the energy companies take. That's for gas and electricity. We are being smashed left, right, and centre. And Liz Truss, $2.5 grand a year energy cap. Well, she's just set the benchmark. So you're all going to be paying $2.5 grand a year. Now, go back 10 years, people were paying £15, £20 a month for their electricity. And that's the trouble. No one was paying attention back then, was they? It's all right. It's only 15, 20 quid. We sponsored these people in business and government, didn't we? Because it weren't really affecting us in our lives. And that's why we as a people have just been doing it. That's why we put up with it. That's why we go, it ain't going to matter to me. What's 20 quid? It's like 4 pints back then, 4 or 5 pints down the pub a month. So people used to pay it. But now, when you've got energy companies coming in, they're going to be demanded £400 a month off of you. It's a different scenario, and it's going to be a different scenario. Look, I couldn't believe it. I spoke to my missus's dad a couple of nights ago. They phoned up to speak to the daughter. I think it was his birthday. No, he'd been to an appointment at hospital. He had to go and have a scan. And we were chatting on the phone because he's bought a Tesla car and all that. And I said, you're charging up at home. And even he was like, has your mate built these for energy devices? And I'm like, hang on a minute. Didn't see that coming. Everybody's now paying attention. That's the thing with the beautiful thing about what's going on in this country. It's forcing people to pay attention. And you and your families, guys, you're going to have to make some very, very hard decisions soon. But I don't want dodgy courts. I don't want dodgy businesses. I don't want dodgy energy companies, right? And they're just limited companies. That's all they are. I'm a limited company. I limited companied my name and made the company dormant. So I'm the director of that limited company, the same as British Gas. They've just got a director. And it's the same as how Boris Johnson set himself up. All these politicians, Liz Truss Limited. Go and check her out. Go on Companies House. Type in Liz Truss Limited. That's not even a real name. They're working as limited companies. They're directors of limited companies, guys. It's a right swindle. It really is. It's. I'm not saying it ain't a clever system. Their system of deception is hugely clever. Whoever sat down and come up with this system years ago, round of applause, man. Very clever swindle. Very, very clever swindle, because most of the people haven't been out to see it. So then what happens to your freedoms? What happens then when you can't pay your car insurances because your energy bills? And then you can't. This is the point I've tried to make. Now, we get all the excuses. Oh, well, if so it's the car and they can't pay out, the insurance has got to pay us away, you've got to have MOTs. Like, listen, if you was all left alone, right, and I've said this from day one, if all of yous was all left alone in your private lives and in your private thingies, you would sit on your treasure as a king would sit on his treasure. I ain't talking out the box here. I'm talking facts. So if you went down the road and you accidentally scraped someone's bumper up, you just sort it out privately. And you still have the ability to, if you damage anyone's, to sort it out privately. You still have that ability. And it comes down to bad education, because people get behind a wheel now and they just go around like nutters. They've got no respect for other people's lives. They don't care about other people's lives because it's all self. They're like laying in a turkey tray with the baster and the fat. Oh, self. And they're just basting their self because they can't see out that peripheral vision. They can't see that other people matter too. And if people were to drive around like darlings, half these accidents and stuff would disappear. So it's a failing on the education system for not teaching morals, respect, decency, and how to be. We was always taught that in this country. So that's the argument. So if you can't afford road tax, MOT, and all that, you can't use your roads. So we think we're free, but we're not free. You have to pay for your freedoms. And in the UCC system, the Uniform Commercial Code, it says, and when this new system of government come in the 1930s after the Deep Depression, it said that you have to purchase your freedoms. You live in a world now where you have to purchase your freedoms. And that's disgusting, because freedom is a given. It's a God-given thing. Your natural rights have all been stripped away from you, guys and girls. And I just hope you're brave enough to stand up and get them all back. Now, I've been doing lots of things, lots and lots of things behind the scenes. That's why people haven't really seen me much online. And I'm at a point now where I think I'm pretty close to getting the level on all of this and bringing all of public servants back into a line, all right? Because, listen, all men are created equal, no man can own another. And if any man can compel another man to do something against his will or his wish, that's slavery. And we do live in a financial slavery system. You gotta see this. Anyway, David Hannon, I'll send you my love, man. He's David, who's in the chat room here. Bless his heart. He's just lost his 22-year-old son in the last few weeks. So, mate, feel for you, dude. I can't even imagine what that must be like. But look, we are living in very dark times. We have got some very sinister people doing some really bad things to all of us as a people. And it's always given the illusion, well, it's for your own good. We've got to do this. It's not the case, guys. It's really, really not the case. Victoria Kesterton. Hello, Victoria. Johnny Osborne, Deb Starr, David Hannon, Lauren Page, seeking truths, aren't we all, darling? Alison Goulding, lovely to see you. It really is. Came on 830. Paulie R. Hello, Paul Van Kook. Nice to see you, Smash from Cornwall. Funny, I've just been working on my Velomobile, which I got from a guy in Cornwall. So even now, I've got a trailer for that. I travel around doing all my little jobs and bathrooms that I do, and I'm not paying tax, insurance, and all that to get on the road, because my whole ethos over the last 10 years has been, how can I starve the beast? What is it I've got in my power that I can do to starve these corporations? Because if we all turn away from these corporations, they and their people behind them have no choice but to come back to the people with their cap in their hands. Truthfully, and it ain't about being tight. It's not about not having any money. It's about, I don't wish to give my energy to these people, to these insurance companies, to all the, I just don't want to do it. I'll gladly give to the people. If there's someone local that's chopping up firewood and selling firewood, that's the areas that I've gone into now. I've diversified how I live my life. I will get people, family men and women, to deliver me a big load of wood so I can burn it through the winter. And I'm giving them a living. I'm giving that cash to them so that can enhance their lives. Now, we know that they want to get rid of cash. We know that. And that's dangerous. Dangerous. You should have a balance in life, guys. And if they take the cash away, then I'm sorry to say, but if your computer card don't work or the computers go down, the network goes down, you've got real big problems. We've seen it locally in my village. There's a Sainsbury's that's been there for a couple of years now. And a few months ago, there was a massive power cut. Trees were down. This was about March, April time. We had some really big storms. And some people in my village was without power for 7 or 8 days. Luckily, we was only out for 2 days. But I turned all my solar and my inverters on and we were carrying on as normal. But the point is this. Sainsbury's weren't taking, they couldn't take card payments. So people that were going in with their big trolleys of shopping, it was causing mayhem, absolute mayhem. And then they had people on the shop front saying, when you walked into Sainsbury's, have you got cash on you? Yeah, you can go and shop then. Honestly, God, look, we don't come here. People like me don't do this. We don't take the time out of our days to bring this stuff to you because we're tinfoil hat wearers, because we're conspiracy theorists. None of that. We come here because we just want you to think about these things that we talk about. That's the only reason I'm here, is to get you guys to think, well, actually, if the cash does go and the computers go down, how can I get my eggs in the morning to dip me eggy soldiers in? How can I get my salt to put me salt in my eggs? And, you know, we've grown loads of food this year. I've been growing tomatoes. Some of these tomatoes are, you'd have trouble holding them in your hand. Cucumbers, cauliflower. We've grown loads. Potatoes, sweet corn. My sweet corn's all doing just fabulous at the moment and not too far off a harvest. I'm doing all these things to be self-sufficient, to be self-sustainable. And not only does it do you good, it keeps you fit. It keeps your mind balanced because you're focused on sustaining life. Now, we've got a system in this country that none of us like. Most of us are now realizing that we've seriously screwed up, that we've really let some people in this thing called government. And the government is never, ever, there's never, ever anyone in this government, whoever works for this HM government, can do anything to the prejudice of us, because in constitutions of a country, they always state that the people must maintain and be the source of power. We, me, you, all of you in this chat room today, every single one of you out there plastering, doing woodwork, cleaning toilets, cleaning houses, hairdressing, whatever it is that you're doing, we should hold the power, us, the people. We should have dominion over our estates, our properties. No man without lawful excuse should ever be able to come in and touch any of your stuff. But look at the police now. We've got a warrant. Yes. Well, where'd you get that from? Well, we just press print. The police type your name into the system. Ding, 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 it comes out on a print and they come round your house, kick your door in, smash your door in, take your door off its hinges. And I'm saying this now, guys, if there's any of you out there that have got a non-destructible door, if you're selling non-destructible doors, completely chainsaw proof and drill proof and all this stuff, let me know, because I might be wanting one. All right, because I am sick to death of the way that this system and our public servants that are supposed to serve and bolster and make this country great, I'm sick of them coming across our threshold and stealing us and taking us into cells and doing all sorts of stuff. It's 1936 Germany, guys, whether you like it or you don't. It's going to hit your reality very, very, very soon. Really, you're going to see, right? If you've tuned into my channel for the first time today, 2022, we've only got a few months left. 2023, by the early part of 2023, you are going to see 2023 is the year it's going to go. The year 2023. is going to be such an amazing year for change. Let me tell you, it's going to be such an amazing year for change. There's going to be a light bulb moment. The whole country's going to go, right, yeah, we're not having this no more. I can see it coming. It's coming now because everybody's talking about something. Everyone's got a friend that they know that's been a conspiracy theorist or whatever, telling the truth for years and years and years. And now we're starting to see people saying, well, actually, they're quite right in what they're saying. They've been trying to gently warn us that these energy companies are just disgraceful. So just imagine, right now, sat here watching me. This is live, by the way. I'm just sat in my kitchen. I'm just having a nice cup of tea. If you can just imagine right now that you've got your mothers, your fathers, your friends, your families that haven't really given you much time over the last few years, there's going to come a time, right, where if they're working class and they're still out working from home, wherever they're working from, that their wages, their income per month, we know the system likes everyone on this monthly thing, but they're going to start to see very soon that their monthly, what they're bringing in via their wages is not covering their outgoings. We know police are especially susceptible to this. We've got many policemen and women now in this country that are going to food banks because they have to pay their bills. They can't get bad credit ratings. So food, as much as it's food's not a luxury, guys. Food's a necessity, right? Having a roof over your head is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Having the right to go on the roads, to travel around the roads, to get out and do your lawful business is not a privilege. It's a necessity, okay? And you're going to see these things really come to the forefront of all your friends and family's mind soon because they ain't going to know which way to turn. Policemen and women go out to food banks because they have to pay all their bills first. Because if they get bad credit ratings, they lose their job. And that's how this system has got everyone by the gonads. So if these are the Rothschilds, right? So I'm Jacob Rothschild. I'm sat at home as Jacob Rothschild and I've got everyone's balls in my hand. And I'm squeezing like milking a cow. You all seen people milk cows, right? Milking the cow. They're just pulling you by the balls, man. They're pulling you by the balls. Now, I've stepped away. 10, 15 years ago, I said to the system, have a Winston, I'm off. I'm not filling none of your papers out no more. I don't want nothing to do here. If I ever get made homeless, I'm going to go and live in the middle of a woodland and I'm going to build myself a little hut, dig it in the ground. And that's just, I'm never, ever going to go and beg anybody in government, this government that can't harm the people. I'm never going to go and beg any single one of them again. Never. And I'm never going to sign any more of their pieces of paper. And I'm forbidding anyone in my family that when I die to ever sign a death certificate. Fuck that. I'm sick of this system of paper. We should all be really sick of this system of paper because it is a slavery system. The whole birth certificate system is a plantation. It's a plantation, people, that we're on. It's disgusting. There's no free enterprise. There's no niceness. Where's the niceness in the system when you've got a policeman dragging you out the car because you ain't got tax, insurance, and MOT, and you've done nothing wrong? You've not hurt nobody, but because you've pinged up on their system and you've not got a piece of paper that they require on their computer system, they do what? Where's that ever fair? Where's the love in that? Where's the niceness? There isn't. It's a wholly wrong system. There is nobody in the government that should ever be allowed to beat us. They're supposed to fear us, the people, guys and girls. And then when you've got a system where the government is here and the people are up here and people power is here and the government fear you, you've got freedom. But when you fear them up there and you go into a courtroom and you're shaking like a leaf because you don't know whether they're going to send you down for some free anal sex for 6 months in Her Majesty's pleasures. By the way, Princess Diana, she sold her Ford Escort RS. It's been 25 years since that gorgeous woman passed. And they sold her Ford RS the other week in an auction for £650,000. An Escort RS. Would you ever believe that? But listen, Prince Andrew's Escort cost the mummy £12 million. 12 million the Queen had to give Andrew in hush-hush money because he never slept with this woman. Because remember, he was at Pizza Hut in Woking at the time with Beatrice when she allegedly he had his appendage slapped in her vagina. Yeah, so be careful, people. It's all what it is. Well, it's about time. I've not paid for 5 years. Go on, Lauren. I'm loving that. Jesus Jones, I thought it was evening too. No, it's only just gone 4 o'clock, gorgeous. He got the balls in his hands. I'll cut them off if I could. Yeah, I think we've all had enough of the Rothschilds, in fairness. As Bob Hoskins said, Mars bars going up in London. Bob Hoskins, lovely little actor, Bobby Hoskins, really is. Alan Walker, gorgeous. How are you? It's nice to see you, Al. It really is. So, yeah, guys, we've got to think outside the box now. We've got to do things to starve the beast. We really, really have. Because these energy companies and these councils and these fuel companies for petrol and diesel have got right out their box. And listen, it's only the things that you absolutely rely on in your life that have gone through the roof. Mortgages, council taxes, because they love smashing your back doors in, people. Your local council, they love smashing your back doors in. But listen, council tax, civil matter. Can't force entry for council tax. The easiest way to deal with council tax, send all their paperwork back, have no dealings with them. They can send people around just to knock at the door, but they can't force entry. They're not. That just cannot go on anymore, and no one can go to prison for it. And people have in the past, but that's a miscarriage of justice. That's an abuse of power. That you've got the police and the councils having this little orgy. It feels. Oh yeah. Is that the director of the council? Oh yeah. Give me some of that. They're all working hand in hand, but they're all working in treason, people. They're all working since this 1972, the European Union, which we was all supposed to be trading for German sausage, French beer and BMWs. And Ladas and Skodas, remember, come from that block, wherever they come from. But what we failed to realise, it was a political marriage. It was firmly slotted in. We were never supposed to have a European Parliament. We're supposed to have a fucking English Parliament. The Scots have got one. The Welsh have got one. The Irish have got one, although it's being run by the IRA, Sinn Féin. Oh, yes, I'm not going to drop bombs no more. I'm going into politics. Fucking cosmic. No one pays attention. No one bats an eyelid. We just think this is normal behaviour. Yes, we're not. No, we're putting down the guns. We're going into politics. We're going to put a suit on. Look at this. Check this out. It's exactly what happened with the mafia back in the 30s. They went into selling insurance. Peeps, you can do all your own research. You don't have to take my word for this. If you take the time out of your day to do a little bit of research, turn that TV off and start seeing the world in a slightly different way, all these things that we talk about, you're going to start seeing them as well. God bless you all. Everyone around me keeps trying to justify what's going on. They can try and justify what's going on, but there's going to come a point when they can carry on trying to justify it, but the bailiffs are coming in their front door, people, to rip their gas and electric meters out and leave them with nothing. And they'll still be there standing in the lounge trying to justify, you can't cut me off. Well, we're fucking cutting you off, aren't we? Don't cut me power off. No, sorry, got to cut your power off. You're not paid your bills. But the grid only takes 2%. Don't matter. Our directors have got to get laced up at the Christmas party. Who do you think you fucking are, peasant? Keep paying. Mate, I'm telling you, Nick Griffin in the EU was correct when he said the bankers are making people cross the seas and channels. It's happened. People are dying crossing. Well, yeah. Now, I won't get into all the debate over the immigration and people coming in on dinghy divers. All I know is that this is there's a bigger picture to all of this than what the media doles out. And it's all to enrage and inflate and get everybody arguing and get everyone screaming at the TV. How many times over the years have you seen your loved one sat at home when the news comes on and they get up, they rant, they tap? My old man used to tap the screen of the TV, punch it when he didn't like a story that was coming. I'm thinking, for this, a fucking box in the corner of the room, man, sending waves into the room. What are you doing, man? You're displaying signs of madness. Smashing a screen when you're around because some dodgy politician or a dodgy story pops up on the screen. Liz Truss, by the way, she was remembering Jimmy Savile and saying what a beautiful man he was not too long ago on Twitter. Yes, Liz Truss, a Jimmy Savile supporter. So it just goes to show, guys, that they fucking love fucking kids, don't they? Let's be honest. But oh no, Dave, you can't talk about these things. No, you can't talk about these things. No. I don't want to hear it. Well, fine, don't hear it. I ain't got a problem with that. I don't care who listens. I really don't. But I'm just saying, guys, enough is enough. We need to slice it off. We need to bacon slice this invasion into our private lives, guys. We're not supposed to be tracked. We're not supposed to be tracked. We're not supposed to have chips put in us. We're not supposed to. Oh, Tarquin, look at my chip. I can get in and out of this nightclub now, Zippy, and get my vodka and tonics and my black Russians. Look, yeah, you're so fucking clever, man. Yeah, that's a real clever move. Well done, Tarquin. God bless you. Fucking things people would do to keep up with the trends and keep up with the norm and look at this phone and iPhone and this phone. Who gives a fuck? I couldn't care less if you've got a shitty old 8310 as long as you can talk to people when you want to talk to them. People that have nothing and people that have come away from the grid have got far more value than the ones driving BMWs and Mercedes and McLarens that just haven't got a clue. Because when all this shit comes down, they ain't going to know which way to turn. The people that are going to survive all of this are the ones that can make their own energy, create their own food, and clean water and stay warm through their own efforts. They're the people that are going to survive this. Do you see what I'm saying? Sort the wheat from the chaff. The living shall rise from the dead. Wisdom and all that's got to come back in abundance, guys. We really do have a really sick system. And the Vatican Bank, yes, Lauren's just saying the Vatican are pulling all their assets back to the Vatican Bank now. And you do know that in the Vatican City, the age of sexual consent is 12 years old. Oh, doesn't it make you want to vomit, doesn't it, eh? 12 years old. I bless you, my son, in the name of the take this. Yes, exactly. They have their own flag, everything now. Who does, Paul? NATO immigration treaty. Well, it is. I mean, there's many people that have come into this country via the boat system across the channel that have said we're part of the NATO army. We're part of. We don't think you realise what we're coming into the country for. But listen, if the masses want to sleep, if the masses don't want to pay attention, if they love EastEnders and Emmerdale and Coronation Street so much, let them have it. Let them have this shit system. Let them have the police ripping them out of cars. Let them have the police standing on their heads on the side of the road while they're taking a piss on them. Let them have it. Because then when they've got it right in their fucking faces, they might realise, we've dropped a bollock here. What the actual fucking hell is going on? Do you see what I'm saying? Because that's what happens. People, they haven't got a clue. They're driving down the road listening to Rick Astley. They get dragged out of a car, bashed up in a police cell, and from that point, their life changes because they go, fucking hell, I never thought I lived in a country like this. I never thought I could get bashed and beaten and fucking sexualised. We got a woman that's a truth seeker. She got arrested, taken down the cell, and 8 policemen and women held her down while they exercised and investigated every orifice of her body against her consent, by the way. No consent was given, but they still done it. Up the bottom. Oh, yes, I can see a sofa. Up the vagine. Oh, yeah, no problem there. Let's have a little feel of these. Dirty bastards. Now, years ago, they'd have to have a doctor there. A doctor would have to come along and say, oh, they reckon you've got a sandwich pack of cannabis up your vag. We're going to have a look. But the doctor would have to be there. It'd all have to be done with discretion and niceties. Not now. Oh, we're going to search you. I'm going to bend you over. Have that. Beam me up, Spotty. Beam me up. And they're in there like a fucking ferret up a drain pipe. Sick, evil, wicked. How the fuck do you go home and sleep at night? How the fuck do you go home and take that uniform off, get into bed and think, I've had a good day today. I've looked up a few vaginas. Fucking you sick bastards. And they are sick. They're absolutely fucking sick. But we got a lot of coppers now that are leaving. We've got many policemen and women up and down the country. I've got one that I've been helping not register their kids. They're changing their gas and electric meters. They're doing all sorts of greatness. Cancel all their council taxes. And they're now telling us we don't want to go back to work. We want to leave. And we're making waves so we can get out of this fucking shit system. And it is. It's not what it was, guys. Sadly, I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry to rip the glitter knob off. But no, that's not Gary Glitter, by the way. because we all walk around with rose tinted glasses. Fuck me, I did for years. I never thought I lived in a country where the system was so wicked, violent, and evil. I never did. I never ever thought it would be possible. But let me tell you, it soon opened my eyes, and I soon come to grips. And I thought, these people that are running this system are evil and fucking crazy. So I'll leave you with that. We've had 40 minutes, my first proper day back on YouTube. It's lovely to see you. You're not going to see much of me on Facebook, guys. I'm doing stuff in Discord groups. I'm big into the Successors website. I'm learning all about the established law of the land and how to implement it. And I'm learning fast. I really, really am learning fast. But I guess in essence, it doesn't matter what I know. It doesn't matter how much law I know. It doesn't matter how. As when I've got a man at my gate with a fucking gun or a taser stick or a fucking weapon of war with some handcuffs, I know they're kinky. What am I going to do? When they're not listening to you and saying, well, actually, I've got the law on my side here. You've not got a proper warrant. No, we're coming in anyway. What are you going to do? It's going to get to a point where we're going to go head to head with these people. I can see it in this country. It's coming. We're going to start going head to head with them. Trust me. It's going to happen. I've said for a long time, when these energy companies have done what they've done and people can't do this, there's going to be court hearings and they're going to, oh yes, you can go around this house and break in. There's going to come a flashpoint in this year, later this year or early next year, where you are going to start to see police individuals and or bailiffs and court staff that go to people's houses to try and break in to do these things. People are going to get so desperate, they're going to start stabbing and killing these people. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see anybody lose their lives. But I guarantee you, when you've taken everything off of everyone and no one really gives a fuck anymore, they're going to come out fighting. And as a nation, we've been really wicked in history. You can look back in history, some of the cruel and unusual things we've really done. At the moment, the English, the British, the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh have been quite pacified. But when they get angry and when they come out the woodwork and say, right, that's it, the line is drawn in the sand, we're not having it no more, they descend into some nasty ways, man. We've seen it. We've seen heads on poles before. We've seen undrawn and quartering, parts of bodies sent to Land's End, John O'Groats and all these four corners of the land, and having entrails pulled out and burnt on hot coals as you're dying. We've been very wicked in the past, but we're all told by this system, oh no, you must stay peaceful, you must stay this, whilst they're going round and exercising proper violence on us all. Well, that don't stack up. And that will only continue for so long, because our ancestral echoes that echo through these lands that have been for centuries, we get to a point where we go, enough's enough. It's a bit like when you was a kid and you was winding your old man up saying, Dad, you got grey hair, look, your balls are down by your ankles. What's going on, son? Sort your life out. Now, your old man might have laughed and smiled at you for a bit. And then when he thought you was being a little bit too personal, he'd look at you and go, right, he's up, leave it. And you thought, oh, he's only messing. And then the next thing, you carry on. Before you know it, he's fucking slapped you around the head, pulled your pants down, give your ass a slap, and sent you to bed early. That's what happens with this system. The system don't realise what it's doing to people. It really doesn't. Edward Goldtooth, darling, is beautiful to see. Brother-in-law thinks those ancient laws are no longer active. He's the one that will get it. They are active. The old Settled Land Act, the Law of Property Act, they're all still active. They're established. There's no one in this modern government that can tamper with them. They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to. And we're tripping them up now with their own stuff, with their own laws and long. I want peaceful solutions, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want the violence. I don't want police being murdered. I don't want bailiffs being armed. Lord knows I've got angry at times and thought that, but I think all that's happening is that the people are fighting against one another, while the robber barons, the mafia, the mafioso bastards sitting at the top are just laughing at everybody. Look at them all. Oh, and don't forget, before I disappear, Albert Pike's prediction was to release the nihilists. If you go and research Albert Pike's predictions on the three wars, the First, Second and Third World War, by some priest from years ago that told this story, Santiago, whatever his name was, I can't remember, it was such a long time ago, but he said we unleashed the nihilists. And basically Albert Pike's prediction for the third thing is to get everybody fighting amongst each other so they all cancel each other out. And so far it's going to plan. We need to be a little bit we need to be a bit more switched on, guys. We need to be looking at, there's many people setting off-grid communities up now. We've got people that I'm talking to at the moment because we've got some free energy devices coming. They're talking about building off-grid communities away from this mainstream bullshit. And whilst it's a fabulous idea and enlightening for many, we have to beg the question, why do we have to do these things? Why do we, the people, have to bend and run and start something new to get away from these maniacs that run this system? I think it's time for a change. I think it's time bottom up. I don't want top down. I want a bottom up system. I want nurses, doctors. I want carpenters, plumbers, road sweepers, cleaners, hairdressers making the decisions and saying what is tolerable in this great country, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. I don't want these at the top. Whenever you go to a council, you can have that house, you can't have that house. Oh, we give you that house, but now we're taking it back. Guys, you're in Oliver Twist country. You're in communism. You should feel safe. You should have a home. It's a right. It's not a grant. It's not a gift from a government. Government can't own anything. In the Settled Land Act, possession of property is either in reversion. I can't remember the words, but I'm learning so much about it. But basically, the government can't own land. They just have usage. That's it. Government, its function is to use the land until the rightful heirs return. And I'm going through a process right now where I'm dealing with this and letting them know I'm here in Dominion. I'm not here as some dead piece of paper that you think you can just fucking push around. We've had enough. We've had enough, people, and it's time for us all collectively to wake up. It's time for all of us to start changing our lives so that we start starving the fucking beast. If everyone in this country stopped paying council tax today, what would change? Not much. Really and truthfully, not much, because they get so much from the business sector anyway. But what it does, it will change the balance. It means that the people will be sitting on their treasures up here while these councillors have to start running around trying to figure out ways out to make money and be polite and be nice again. Instead of going, you're our dog shit, we're taking you to court and we're going to fine you because it's bullshit, guys. When your council can hire a magistrate's court and pretend to be a court, that's not right. It's just not right, guys. It's not right. And it's treasonous. It's against the law to do that. But they do it with impunity and they don't care who knows about it because they're arrogant, horrible, narcissistic people. I'll leave it with you. As always, I love every single one of you, guys. But remember, sit on your treasure. Take back dominion. Take back control of what you can in your life to starve the fucking beast. And that way we will win. See you all soon. Take care. God bless.